Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 43 of the Whimsy podcast. My name is Zenith. My pronouns are they, them. I am so happy you are joining me here today. This is my podcast where I talk about all the things I have been knitting lately, any reading I've been up to, any other interests that are happening. If that sounds interesting to you, grab a snack, grab a drink, grab a craft. Let's jump on into it. Today is Saturday, March 28th. I'm looking down because I have notes and I don't know what day it is. It is that lovely kind of spring day where it still feels like winter. It is still in the 30s. I don't love that. I looked over the week's forecast coming up. We have some days in the 60s. I'm much more excited about that. Today I am hydrating with infused water. I threw a couple pieces of cantaloupe and a couple slices of leftover lemon in here. And I'm just sipping on that. It's going to be, I think, a quicker episode today. I have a lot to show. However, I think it's going to move along pretty quickly. Most of the projects I'm going to show today are things you probably saw if you watched last week's episode. If you're new, welcome. For those of you who watch regularly, it's going to be mostly the same old. But anyway, I'm still excited to show them. This week I have one finished object. I have 4 works in progress. I have 2 yarn acquisitions. My first yarn acquisitions of 2026 have arrived. I was influenced. And I also have 2 more book acquisitions on top of the ones I got last week. It turns out even with all the books I showed you, I still had some empty shelf space. So everything is going to be filled up after I put these books away. Finally. And then I have a new kind of like I have a new area of interest that I am going to talk about at the end of the video that's kind of not related to crafting at all, but I'm excited about it. I want to talk about it. So if that sounds interesting, let's dive on in. Let's do finished objects first. I have finished my pair of socks from last week. If I can grab them. These are Knit Picks Felici in the color Bebop. I use Stroll Black for the cuffs and toes. I used another Stroll color for the heel, but I don't know what that colorway was. I did, this is my standard vanilla pattern, so I did 56 stitches on a size 1.5 flexi flip. I did 10 rounds of 1x1 twisted rib. Hopefully you can see that. It is black, so there's that. 1x1 twisted rib for the cuff. I did 30 rounds for the leg. However many rounds I needed for the foot. This is a sock for me, so that was 65 rounds. And then a square toe on top of that. I changed the color for the toe 5 rows before I start the decreases. That just works for me. And yeah, these are for me. So I love them. They're great. No notes. Yay, finished object, done. And that brings us into whips. I have one that you haven't seen for many, many moons. And I'm so excited. In this bag, which was a gift from my mom at some point, I have a northeasterly blanket that I have not shown in a very long time because I only work on it for about like 2 hours a week. Usually on Wednesdays, I have a friend group that plays Among Us, and playing that game makes me anxious. But I like hanging out with the people. So I jump into like the Discord group chat and everyone else is playing Among Us and someone will stream their screen and then I just knit this blanket. And that is how my Wednesday evening goes. And so anyway, the last time I showed this, I'm on the back. The last time I showed this, I'm just trying to figure out which edge is correct. We were here. And so I've finished the second strip. I only plan to show this when I finish a new strip. The way that I am working on this blanket, look at the blanket. The way that I am working on this blanket is whenever I finish a self-striping yarn, if you're a Felici person, you can probably catch the Felici. Or if you're a Tiny Human Knits person, you can probably catch the Tiny Human Knits. The way that whenever I finish a pair of socks, for example, I have the Bebop one right here, I just take the ball and I throw it in this bag. And then I have a cone of Knit Picks palette. This is the color Pennyroyal. I actually have 2 cones of this, but I only have 1 in the bag because that would otherwise completely fill the bag. And yeah, whenever I finish a self-striping yarn, I just add it in at some point. I do have a whole bag of like self-striping scraps in here. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Let me add this to this bag. And that is one of the reasons that I've been prioritizing, no crinkles over my words. One of the reasons I've been prioritizing my self-striping yarn the way that I have been is that I know when I finish a project, I don't have to like deal with the leftovers. I'm like, the leftovers are just going to go in here and that's fine. And this is getting worked on. I usually add, depending on the size of the ball, I add like about a ball per gaming session. So this is the backside. don't look at that. Yeah, and this is the Northeasterly pattern. I did modify it a couple different ways. I'm doing yarn over increases instead of the one called for in the pattern. I'm doing a different style for the slip stitch edge. Basically, the only thing that I've done to keep it Northeasterly is that it still looks like a Northeasterly, but I'm basically not following any of the pattern accurately. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm loving this pattern. I put it on my bingo card for the year as though I'm going to finish it this year. I don't know if I'm actually going to finish it this year because it's going to be full length, like full size blanket sized. And I don't see that actually happening. I don't see me getting that done this year, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like in the fall after tons of steady progress. But yeah, that's my Northeasterly, the notorious Northeasterly. The next one I want to show is my my baby blanket that I'm making for, this is going to sound really bougie, but my roommate and I both have ADHD. And sometimes we just pay the ADHD tax up front rather than dealing with the consequences. And so one of the ways we do that, or my roommate rather does is, I don't do this, is she has hired a house organizer to deal with a lot of the clutter and like just the buildup of stuff that happens when you own a home. And so she's been working with a house organizer for a couple of years. And because I live here, I also have like met the house organizer, and our house organizer is expecting a baby. So I'm making her a blanket. So the last week you saw this, we were at this little jellyfish. The pumpkin pie is showing where the first ball ended. And now we're here. And I just, once again, love this pattern. I know I showed it just like on the last episode, but I did do quite a bit of work on it. So I wanted to show you again. The way that I have been working on this is I've been listening to the Gone Medieval podcast. And I just put on the episode. I knit on this while the episode is running. When the episode ends, I'm done knitting with this for the day. I love it. And I love the pattern. The pattern is from an online stitch dictionary. And it's like the pattern is Labyrinth, I think. And I just love it so much. I love the way that it looks with this yarn. The other reason I want to show this today, this yarn is Knit Picks Brava in the color Seraphim. And I only originally bought 5 balls of it because when I bought yarn during the 246 sale to make baby blankets all this year, I Googled like how much worsted weight yarn do you need for a baby blanket? And Google AI was like 5 balls. And I was like, I trust you. And this obviously is not going to be 5 balls of yarn based on like where this stitch marker is. Like if this is 1, we're not, that's 5's not going to do it. So I'm going to show the first yarn acquisition right here. This is from Knit Picks. I have obviously not opened it yet. I just realized this was here when I got home from breakfast. And this is the yarn that I need for this. So I'm going to open it really quickly. And I have 3 more balls of it. So I'm going to go through real fast just to like make sure that nothing looks crazy on the outside. But those look exactly the same. So I'm quite happy with that. I have 3 balls total. I'm just going to look them over really fast. Yeah, they look fine to me. They all look like they're the same colorway, same dye lot. I know there was like a thing last summer where someone made a Reddit thread saying that like Knit Picks had bugs, like had to break out bugs in their I think it's their Columbus warehouse. And I remember getting like really panicked about that, and I remember even like making a video where I'd ordered some yarn and I had to open it on the back porch because my roommate was like, "You're not opening that in your carpeted room." And I was like, fair. But I'm thinking about it now that I'm like not in such a panic, and I'm like, a lot of people were like being like, I don't love Knit Picks the way that I used to on that thread, but there were like no actual pictures of people with bugs in their order. And I'm just thinking about that now because every single time I've ordered Knit Picks since then, I've been like, is there something on here? And every time the answer is no. Anyway, this is neither here nor there, but I guess I'm stirring the pot today. Anyway, this is my blankie, and I love it. I will probably not show this blanket again until it is completed, but trust that it is being worked on significantly week by week. So yeah. The next project I'm showing you is my whatever sweater, which again I showed you last week, but I made progress on it. I made quite a bit. I feel like I can just scoot back. So last time I showed it, we were here, and now we're here. It is rolling up at the bottom, but yeah, we're all the way down here. So I had to wind up more yarn, because this darker color is a new mini skein set. That's what that's called. Let me inch back forward. So that's a new mini skein set that has been added. Hello. And yeah, I'm really happy. It's still Sorella. It's just a different kit. This one is the choreographer that I've just started. Here's what I have left. I took things out of order because I'm pretty sure I'm only going to need 3 more balls and then I'll be able to do the ribbing at the bottom. So I have these 2 to finish it out. I'll do the ribbing in this gray color. And then I'll have these 2 to start the sleeves, and then I'll pick some more minis to finish the sleeves. That's kind of my plan. That's kind of the reason for the season. I got to work on this for a full day. A full day. On Thursday, I had no sock knitting to do, so I just worked on this the whole time. I also worked on it for a bit yesterday because I call my parents every Friday. I had a sock in progress, but I was in the middle of a heel. And I was like, I don't want to count heel rows while I'm talking to them. So I was like, let me just do my basic stockinette sweater that I love so much. So yeah, I love it. I can't wait to wear it. It's going to be a good time. And that's my whatever sweater. Oh, the pattern is by Julie Knits in Paris. I am using all yarns that have been gifted to me by friends and family. And I love it. I love it. I cast it on New Year's Eve, and I'm just working away on it. I cast it on, one of my friends also cast it on, and she finished her sweater. We went out to brunch again today. We went out to brunch last weekend. We went out to brunch again today. Same place, same time. And she had her sweater on. She was wearing it. She used all scrap yarns for hers, and then she themed it to look like a pigeon, and I'm obsessed. It's so good. So very different styles of sweater. But oh man, I can't wait to finish mine and have like a matching sweater with my bestie. Like, that's gonna be so good. So yeah. Anyway, last but not least, the piece de resistance. I have my socks of the week. On Friday, I cast on a new pair of socks. I had 3 yarns waiting for me. However, I have been influenced. We're going to talk about this in just a second. But instead of doing any of the knitting, any of the yarns I had already selected, I went into my stash and I grabbed Premier Yarns in the color orange, which is an acrylic yarn, and I cast on a new sock. So I started this yesterday. I went slightly off of my main sock pattern. I did 15 rows for the cuff instead of 10, and I did 25 rows for the leg instead of 30. So the leg is the same height, it's just more cuff, less stockinette. Because my hope is that that'll help it hold up better, because I'm worried that these are going to end up getting stretched out and like falling down my legs. That's the concern I have. So yeah, I'm still halfway through the gusset. I'm on I just finished row 11 out of 20 for the gusset decreases. And then I'll be on to the foot. So yeah, they're soft. I like them. I have every color of the Premier fruits, and they've just been sitting around like waiting for me to make them. I keep forgetting I have them, to be honest with you. And that like there's something I can choose to make, but here's the deal. Here's what happened. Here's why this episode is called like I Got Influenced. The Crazy Sock Lady is the first is how I got into watching like YouTube knitting vlogs. Was the Crazy Sock Lady. It popped up on my algorithm and I was like, I'm obsessed. And that is how this all began. And so if I see her video like top of the queue, like she usually doesn't even get added to my watch later list. Like I just watch her organically. I'm like, stop my plans for the day. I gotta watch this. And like I love her videos. She's so good at vlogging, and she's so good at what she does. Anyway, I digress. She got sent some of the Premier yarns for their new line, the vegetable stand, and that first of all made me buy yarn, and second of all made me cast on the Premier fruits, because I was like, these yarns are so good. I forgot how good they were. And all I want is to make orange themed socks. So I did. I'm in the process of that, and I'm having the time of my life. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to take a quick water break, and then I'm going to show you my order from Premier, because it's already here. So, hydrate first. So I have already opened this bag, because obsessed. Immediate obsessed. I did not order all of the colors. I also ordered one that is not a Premier vegetable stand. But I showed these to my roommate as well, because she is actually allergic to wool. And so I asked her which one was her favorite, and she said cucumber. So this is cucumber. This is what it'll look like. It's so cute. I also got pumpkin. This is going to be for me, and I'm going to wait till fall to make them, but these are mine. I got purple basil. Is this upside down? No. I got purple basil. This one's for me. These are going to be something that I wear like the week of Halloween, because they're so good. Actually, maybe I won't wear them the week of Halloween, because I'm going to be in Florida that week, and I'll probably be super sweaty and not having a good time. Anyway, last one, purple onion, which is the one that she knit. I don't know if this will be for me or for my roommate or for someone else completely, but I loved it. And then the one that I got that was not Premier sock, I got Zesty sock in the color Cupcake. I think this was on like a clearance sale or some sort of sale, so it was less than $5 for 100 grams. And I already have a different one of these colors, and I've knitted up before, and it was a really good experience. I really enjoyed the yarn, and I know that I'm gonna like this one. So yeah, Zesty sock. It's good. So yeah, that brings us to the end of all of the official crafting stuff. If that is all you were here for, thank you for joining me, hanging out, spending time together. That's incredible. I also have another acquisition, though. I have a book acquisition. I don't have any reading to share. I said last week that if I did 50 pages a day, I could finish that James Rollins book. And then what I actually did was no reading. I did not do any reading last week. Which is, now that I have, well, I don't still have, but I had room on my shelves, and I got to like change like what books were in my room, because I got rid of a whole bunch, and then I brought in a bunch of new books, including those I'm about to show. And because of that, in my mind, I'm like, that was the goal behind the challenge, to like read all the books in my room. And so now I'm like, I don't want to say less focused, but I'm more like giving myself the ability to breathe and chill. And so I haven't done any reading, which is fine. However, I did go to the bookstore. So I went to 2 bookstores. And in the first bookstore, I got Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I've always wanted to read Abby Jimenez. This is another one that I kind of got influenced on. There's one of my Instagram friends. We used to be in-person friends, and then I moved to Massachusetts, and I haven't seen her since. So we're really more like Instagram friends now. Abby Jimenez is like her favorite author. So I've always wanted to read one of her books, and I forgot to pick one up when I was at the used book superstore. So I went to a local bookstore to me, and I got this one. I got it used. So that's Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I also picked up Undead and Unwed by Sam Shida, which I've heard a lot of good things about. And then I also, it has vampires. It's like vampires, like modern age vampires. She works in a blood bank. And she's trying to celebrate the holidays. I love that. And then the last book I got is Fan Service by Rosie Dannon. I've also heard incredibly good things about this. It sounds kind of similar to Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade, which is the reason why I now want to read contemporary romance books. So I'm excited to have this one just kind of like as something else that'll be good and interesting. So hopefully I like it just as much. I also picked up a bunch of stickers and things because I am a sucker. I'm a sucker for these things. What I do, one of them got folded. Oh no. One of the things I really enjoy doing is I like to keep, when I give gifts to people, I like to keep all of my gift stuff incredibly organized, especially if I'm going to send someone a care package or something. So I keep a little like Ziploc bag of various stickers, like in the same, I have another one of those mint containers. It has mailing slips. It has like those free AAA, things like with your name and address on it. It has like tiny greeting cards. It has to from labels. And it also has a bag of stickers. So I've got some stuff to add to that. So I picked up a little serotonin booster of dogs. This one got folded in the bag, unfortunately. I got Magic is Real, coming out of a book. I've got Leaving Reality, Entering Fiction. Bye. I got some froggies. Someone who watches this show loves frogs, and yes, this is for you. Yes, it absolutely is. And I got a little sloth hanging on an upside down rainbow, or like sitting on a rainbow tree. I don't know. And then I also got another sloth that just says, slow down. I love them. Oh, I also got two bookmarks. They're both for me. One that has an anchor. It says "Love is my anchor." I just love anchors. I literally like wear one on a necklace every day. And then I also got a bookmark with croissants with bows. Quite important. So yeah, I got those. And then I went to another bookstore. What happened was I was going to the post office, and there's a bookstore on the way, and there's a bookstore that's like literally right next door to the post office. And obviously I had to go to both of them. The one on the way is not always open. It has like really erratic hours because the person still works like full time, like, and then she just happens to also own a bookstore. So they were open, and I almost like flipped my car. Like I was going 25, and then I was like, we're turning. Don't recommend. Do not try that at home. And then because I went to the one store, I was like, well, I should go to the other one too. So I got a used copy that you can't even tell is used of Butcher and Blackbird by Brynn Weaver. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I've never read it, so I'm really excited to have it. And then I also got the book that the owner is currently reading, actually, and that is The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating and Other War Crimes by Tiffany Hunt. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what this is about. I'm just like, the vibes sold me. I was like, we're going. Yes. It says step 1, kidnap someone cute. Step 2, force her into marriage. Step 3, try not to get feelings. Sold. Sold to the highest bidder. It's me. I'm the highest bidder. So can't wait to read that. And then I also picked up some more stickers. Not as many, but I did get this little octopus that's knitting, which I could have sworn that I've bought before, but apparently I had not. And then I bought not one, but two seagulls with french fries. Because I have a seagull tattoo. So if I see seagull stuff now, I have to buy it. And then if I give it to my friends, they'll just remember me. Because I'm naturally associated with seagulls now that I literally have one on my arm. So yeah. Anyway, that is all my acquisitions. I do have one more thing to talk about. I'm gonna drink some more water first because my throat is like, why? Friends. Friends, Romans, countrymen. I have a new obsession. I have a new fixation. I have a new rabbit hole. The last one I had was on the Habsburg Empire, medieval Habsburg Empire, and like early modern Spain. I have a new one. Ancient Greece. I'm having the time of my life. Thank you. Bear with me. Let's talk about it. So what happened was I was on the U of Tubes, and I watched a video from a woman who had a video, and I don't remember who the creator is. I'm so sorry. And I've lost the video in my watch later history because I spent too much time on this website. But there was somebody who had a video that was talking about like her personal curriculum, and I thought it was going to be about like how to put together like courses on like Coursera or something, or like Harvard's free learning site, and like how she sets up like a semester for herself. Because even though I'm in school like for accounting right now, I just love learning new things, and like the idea of just taking like humanities classes for free for fun at my own pace where the grades don't actually matter sounds great. It sounds delightful. I was like, sign me up, tell me how to do the thing. And that is not what the video was. The video rather was about how this woman spends a lot of like intentional time thinking about different areas of study that she would like to learn, and basically self-teaching herself that thing and how she does that. And one of the examples she gave was that there's a new Odyssey movie coming out this summer, and in preparation of that, she wants to do kind of like a little she wants to spend some time learning about ancient Greece. So she wants to read the Odyssey and then go watch the movie and then be like, I've learned about the Odyssey. And I was like, this wasn't what I expected. And then I also had kind of a whole other thing, because when I was young, I was like 3 when this movie came out. In 1997, there was a made-for-TV 2-part movie of the Odyssey that came out from HBO that had Armand Asante and Bernadette Peters, Vanessa Williams, Christopher Lee, Eric Roberts. I can go on, like star-studded cast, and the tackiest special effects you've ever seen. It was a 3-hour version of the Odyssey, and for whatever reason, this movie was like definitely like rated R. Like, there's some very grown-up things that happen in the movie. There's a lot. It's very horny, just saying. And for whatever reason, my parents thought that this was an appropriate thing for me to watch as a child because it's like, a great classic. And so it was like the first R-rated movie that I ever saw that I didn't know was R-rated. And so I spent my whole life thinking that Tombstone was the first R-rated movie I ever watched, because I watched that when I was like 7 and was obsessed with Tombstone. Turns out it was actually the Odyssey. So anyway, I was like, how dare you? Like, the Odyssey is perfect as it is. We don't need a new one. Also, I haven't seen this in like 20 years because we only had it on VHS. We haven't had a VHS player since I was in like 6th grade. So I found it for free on YouTube because someone has just uploaded it and no one else has ever bothered to like take it down. So I watched the full movie. And it's so iconic because every single character is acting the hell out of their character with the gravity that you would bring to like a 2,000-year-old epic that is still, alive and thriving. But then like the Cyclops is claymation. Like, Odysseus at one point is like yelling at Poseidon, and Poseidon is literally represented by just like waves crashing on the rocks, like from anywhere. Like, it's stylistic choices were made in this movie, and I know like you can make an argument that like special effects weren't as good in 1997, but like that was 2 years before like friggin' The Phantom Menace came out, and like 2 years before Lord of the Rings came out. Like, there was technology there, and they just chose not to. They were like, all budget on cast, no budget on effects. And I love this movie. I think it might actually be my favorite movie of all time. Because it's so bad, it's so good simultaneously. Like, there's so much. I love it. Anyway, I finished watching the movie, and I was like, I think this needs to be my personality for a while. Oh no, I can feel it. So of course, I went on my library app and I downloaded an audiobook of The Odyssey. And so I've been listening to it. Something really funny has happened. I was listening to it in my car. I took one wrong turn. I was going somewhere half an hour away. It took an hour. I was like, that feels appropriate. We're no longer listening to The Odyssey in the car. That's not happening again. Now I just listen to it at the gym. That's fine. Anyway, so I've listened to The Odyssey. But then I also decided I wanted more. I don't want to stop there. So I went on to Disney Plus. I watched Hercules, which I know I've seen bits and pieces of as a child, but I don't know that I've ever sat down consciously and watched from beginning to end the entirety of Hercules. That movie, underrated. Oh my God. It's so good. I loved it. And then yesterday, I watched Alexander. That was wild. That movie is almost 4 hours long. That movie had an intermission. That movie, once again, if you have not seen it, it was a flop. It came out in like 2004, also, so it's like 22 years old. It has Val Kilmer, it has Colin Farrell, it has Angelina Jolie, it has like Jared Leto is in it, like this huge star-studded cast. Super, super long movie. There's so much going on. Chronologically, it has no chronological order. It's just you're detached from space and time as you were learning about Alexander's life. There's so much space, so much extra stuff that could have been cut from the movie. However, it introduces so many big concepts of like what it means to be a hero, and like how heroship is defined both like in the hero's day and by later people, and like who's writing history and how to manage an empire, and just like all of these big question things keep popping up with not even just with Alexander, but like with all of the stuff that I've just kind of like inputted into my brain this week. It's because like you have this question in the Odyssey of like, what is God without man, and like what is man without God? I know what I'm talking about. like what is man without God, without the gods, which is kind of like, the whole point of the Odyssey. And then you also have like this reckoning between like coming out of the Iliad with Achilles, the fallen hero, as kind of like this representative of like the past, and then like the Odysseus, who's kind of like not nearly in many ways as like perfect as Achilles, but also like being shown as kind of like the modern hero, as someone like who also has flaws, and like how can you be a hero if you have flaws, and blah blah blah, blah, and hubris, and anyway. And then you have like a Hercules who's like, where is my place when I am a god but I am also mortal, and like what does it mean to be a god? All these different big concepts. I'm having the best time just like swimming in the sea of all of these like really big philosophical ideas, and just kind of pondering the meaning of everything, and but once again, like going at my own pace and being like, none of this is for a grade, and I don't have to write an essay on this. I can just watch the movie and then spend a couple hours just like thinking fresh thoughts about life, and kind of just not focusing on the news cycle, because I'm too busy thinking about like how people 2,000 years ago were defining morality. Having a great time. The greatest time ever. There are more movies I want to watch. I definitely want to watch Troy again, which I know that I've seen, but I have not seen it within the last decade. I also potentially want to see if I can watch 300, which I watched that when it came out. Not in theaters, but I like LimeWired it or something. way back in the day. Back when you could do that, like torrented it. And I would like to watch that again. And then I also, whenever I finish the Odyssey, I do want to go back and like probably listen, not read the Iliad. Maybe go crazy, do the Aeneid, which I know is like getting into Rome and like the foundations of where Roman mythology comes from, like literally the founding of Rome. We'll see if I get that far. It might also be that I spend like another week just like doing this like crazy deep dive of like Hellenic myths and then be like, I'm good. You never know. But for the moment, I'm living my best life. So yeah, if any of you are get excited about like specifically ancient Greece, send me your podcast, send me your lectures, send me favorite mythology books and stuff. I feel like I should also watch Percy Jackson's Lightning Thief series. I keep meaning to, and for whatever reason, it just keeps eluding me. So it's not high on my priority list, but I know that it exists and that it is there for me to consume should I consider that. So, yeah. I should say I have read Song of Achilles. I have not read Circe. So yeah. You can also leave book recommendations. I don't know when I'll actually get to those, but I will look at them. So, yeah. Anyway, that is what's going on with me. That is how my week has been going. Wait, no, there's one more thing. Oh my God. I did a big scary thing this week, you guys. So, if you've watched for a while, you know I am currently in school for accounting. I left my job in January. My job moved. I decided not to move with my job, and I went back to school. So right now I'm taking undergraduate classes to see if I like the material before committing to a master's. I like the material. I'm studying accounting. And so this week I went to a webinar about applying to my dream school for the master's in accounting program. And the whole time I was like, oh my God, I want to vomit. Big scary deal. And then I set up an appointment to meet one-on-one with a recruiter to go over whether some of the classes I take this year might actually count towards a master's for a much lower cost. Because instead of paying for like a master's credit, which is $850 a credit, I'm paying the community college rate, which is like $200 a credit. So, yay. Some of those might count, so I want to make sure that I'm like taking as many classes at my current college as I can before going to the master's program. I also want to see like what scholarships and grants are available because it's gonna hurt. My master's program is gonna hurt me financially, which it's fine. But yeah, anyway, I just want to get those questions answered, so I set up an appointment. So I'm doing like really big, scary things in life over the next couple weeks. So anyway, that is all I have for this week. I hope you are also having an absolutely fantastic and wonderful week. This went longer than I expected. We are currently at 39 minutes, and I don't think there's that much that I have to cut from this episode. So, whoops, I lied to you at the beginning. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you find some whimsy in your life and, you know, some mythology or whatever. I hope you are chasing whatever rabbit holes are interesting you lately. So, yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Bye.